Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of the Jimmy and Ian podcast. We're trying something out today. We're doing a live show. Hopefully, some of you can join us. With us today, or with me today, is Colin Moriarty.
Hello. Good to see you. I got my sweet slime bourbon glass.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dragon Quest.
Pretty awesome.
And we also have our regulars, Jimmy.
Hello. Look
And
at my
Jordan.
video this time.
Yay! I don't have webcam yet, but friends still rule.
So how have you guys been? How was your weekend, Colin?
So far so good. I haven't stopped working in the last 3.5 weeks, so but otherwise it's been fantastic. I never stop writing tweets and answering emails, and I barely play games anymore, but things are good. Got drunk a couple nights ago, so that was nice. Otherwise things are good. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Oh, yeah, not too bad. It's been unseasonably warm up here, so.
Yeah, I went out in my t-shirt today to take out the garbage, and I didn't get cold.
What?
But I
It's
also did
really
that
cold here.
I did that at -40, and I got frostbite on my elbow.
On your elbow?
Yeah. I'm dumb.
It shouldn't be like this, is the thing, right? Like, it's this time of year, it's supposed to be like the maximum grape zone, basically, for complaining about how cold it is. But somehow, I don't know, it's a precedent setting in terms of the warmth that I've seen this time of year.
It's 21 here, and I went outside one time today to go to my newspaper meeting, and it was really cold. So that's my update on the weather.
So everyone should move to Saskatchewan for the tropic seasons.
Beautiful in San Francisco. 60 degrees, blue skies. Yeah, it's nice here. I don't go outside though, so I wouldn't really know. I'm just looking at it from the window.
So, is this your first time working from home all the time, Colin?
No, I mean, I was a freelancer for IGN for 5 years, so I was doing all that from home basically too. But I've never worked like a full-time job from home, so. But it's kind of perfect because I don't really like going outside. So.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I like to stay inside. I used to dream about when I was in high school. As long as my friends or my girlfriend at the time wasn't harassing me to do anything that weekend, I would love getting home on Friday at 3 or 4, maybe before or after hockey, and then just not leave until Monday morning and just play games the entire time. It was great. So I'm a real outdoorsman.
That's all I did all weekend. Nothing. It was great.
Vox is the first time I've worked from home, and it's definitely been like a change. I didn't shower between Tuesday and yesterday. It's really good. Didn't leave the house. The only times I showered was to go to Friday. I went to a party and I played a show on Tuesday. Those were the only times I showered. And even I don't know, I hate leaving my house too. So it's I go on Amazon and see how many groceries I can possibly get delivered to my door so I don't have to go to the grocery store so frequently.
Get a lot of cereal. That's what I do. I get it delivered here from Amazon. It's great. I ate a whole box and a half of cereal today while I was doing nothing. I challenged myself with my friends, and it was really cool. We watched Parks and Rec all day and ate cereal.
Wait,
Oh, man,
you challenged your friends to eat cereal?
Yep.
You have a really interesting life.
Well, one of my friends from Chicago was supposed to come and hang out all weekend. He came here, and then his frat found out that he was back, so he got pulled into frat things all weekend. So all of my plans got just destroyed. So we were like, let's just watch TV and eat cereal and play Destiny all weekend, and then we did, and it was cool.
Jimmy, I can't make it out. They're making me do keg stands. I can't do it.
I know. I didn't get an invite, which was pretty lame. I was waiting for one. I would have gone, but I hit 30 in Destiny, so I guess that's a fair trade-off. And I ate a lot of pizza too.
Finally.
Yeah, finally hit 30. Took so long. Now I'm done with that game.
I feel like I would have made for a very competent frat boy had frats existed at the university I went to. Just given the fact that I don't know. I'm a shit show sometimes, and I feel like I would click real well.
I was in the States, I went to a frat party the first time. I think it was a frat party. It seemed like it was like an alumni party. From my friend went to Harvard, and so like they just had this July 4th party, and it was the weirdest movie moment. Like it was exactly what I expected it to be. There was beer games along the entire alleyway in the back, and cake stands, and people were made like watermelon out of alcohol jello. It was
Wow.
it was very interesting, and I had no idea what was going on.
Man, those Harvard boys can party, huh?
It was so hot too, because it was July in DC, and it was like, I don't know, I don't think I've ever felt that hot since I was in Mexico. And so I just left because I got heat stroke and I was too drunk.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
come to
know.
Michigan. It's so hot here in the summer. It's so bad. It's the worst. We like boil, and then we're really cold in winter.
I don't know how I'm going to deal with going to Cuba at the end of next month because I don't do tropical anything very well, especially if I drink copiously. Which I mean, I think we're doing it all inclusive, so that's you sort of take that as read.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to deal with that either. I've never gone on an all-inclusive vacation. Have you, Jim?
What does an all-inclusive vacation entail?
Alcohol?
No. Well, no, not since I was 21. I went to our family's condo in Florida for spring break last year, but that was with my parents, so I don't think that really counts.
That is not an all. I can tell you right now, it's not an
Yeah.
all-inclusive vacation.
It was like pretty standard. We went there, and I sat on the beach, did nothing. But this summer I'm gonna go on
That's
some
like a
trips.
vacation to me.
Oh,
That's just called vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you pay X amount of money, and then there's like a baseline of stuff that you just get for free. Usually it's like open bar
okay. So
and
my
like buffets and stuff. But then if you want more, you can pay for more.
term might count then because I paid like a certain amount of money, and that was allotted food money, and like we had stuff planned out for us every day because I didn't take classes in Liverpool. We just went there, and then like we did tourist things the whole time for the whole 3 weeks. So I guess that's kind of inclusive. Like I was with a group the entire time.
I mean, if you define that as an all-inclusive vacation, then so is summer camp.
Yeah, but like we went to a different country, so I don't think summer camp is as cool as that at all.
Man, I got some mean canoeing skills from summer's camp, so take that. Have you gone on an all-inclusive, Colin?
No, well, yeah, I guess because I mean when I travel overseas for IGN, everything was paid for, so I guess those were all inclusive trips for me. Yeah, so I went to Japan twice, all inclusive, and Europe a few times, but no, nothing for fun. Mostly because I don't like traveling anywhere, so I don't leave the house. I don't like to travel. I won't even go home to Long Island to see anyone unless there's like another reason for me to be there. I don't know. I just don't like I just like being in my space. You know what I mean? Like just hanging out in my space, preferably by myself. But I'll allow other people in my space every once in a while, I guess. But yeah, no vacations for me, and no time for vacation now, ever again.
Yeah. When we went to San Francisco, that was my first vacation since I was like 14.
Did you guys have a good time when you were here?
Yeah.
Immensely,
Definitely.
immensely, man.
I'm coming back in March because I had such a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, it was so weird because we didn't know anybody face to face when we went there, and then so we had no idea what to expect. I kind of expected that it would be like, oh, we hang out with somebody like one night, and then the rest we were just like gonna go dick around in San Francisco, and then it was like, oh, we're doing this, and then we're doing this, and then we're doing this, and then we're doing this, and everybody was so extremely hospitable. It was tons of fun.
Yeah, we had you. It's too bad you couldn't come, Jimmy. We had him over for Smash
Yeah.
Brothers, and I think it was before Smash even launched, so that was fun.
Yeah,
Ian
it
was giving me like play-by-plays, texting me the entire time.
Yeah, it was
I'm gonna
a
come
great.
back after I graduate, I think. I'm gonna
Cool.
work on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So money's
Absolutely.
tight right now.
I
Being
hear
in a
that.
private college. You talk about like small school all the time. You get it. It's so expensive going to school here. But,
yeah, I mean, I went to I mean, well, that's why I was funny. It was funny listening to Eden talk about Harvard's parties because I lived in Boston for 5 years. I never once heard anyone talking about a Harvard party in my life. But I heard about, they had a great hockey team. They're very much smarter than us. But yeah, I mean, I went, Northeastern is something like, let's see, like $45,000 a year or something like that. So,
yeah, mine's like 37.
That was my entire
Pretty close.
tuition. Which I'm paying off without a degree because I dropped out of school because I'm a genius.
Well, sometimes people don't need. I mean, college is great, but sometimes you have those STEM skills. Let's call them science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That I don't have. I'm a writer, which is completely useless. But yeah, I mean, like I was lucky because my mom was my mom was an alumnus at Northeastern, and then she worked there when I was there. So. I didn't pay tuition. I only paid room and board, and I still owed $75,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah, room and board. You don't it's not They don't factor it out for us. They don't divide it up. They just send a huge lump bill, pretty much. But we laid it all out meal plan and room and board and everything. And room and board is a huge chunk of it. And I didn't realize that. And so I cut out my meal plan and realized I'm saving so much money just by cooking for myself. Even I budget $60 a week, and I'm still eating more than I was on meal plan and eating better, and it's way cheaper. So they really nickel and dime you at our small school. They try and suck every chunk of change out of you.
Yeah, they I mean, I had the meal plan I think 3 years at Northeastern, and I would go with Tupperware and just fill it up over and over and over and over again. I got in trouble and kicked out a few times, but it was. Because it was fuck you guys, I'm hungry and I pay.
And you already paid for it.
Yeah, I paid for it. It's what's the big deal? Because a lot of people pay for it, and it must all equal out. Because I'm sure people buy it and then don't even go. But it's good that you're cognizant that the money is real. Because I wasn't cognizant at all that the money was real until I graduated. And then 6 months later, when I was at IGN, I got my first bill from Sally Mae, and I actually started hysterically crying. So. Because I was I was making nothing. I was making $40,000 a year, and I was how am I possibly gonna pay for this? I remember when I got my job offer and I was making that much money. I was I can't believe they're paying me $40,000 a year to do this. and then I you jump into the real world for literally 5 minutes, and you're that is nothing. Nothing. And between my rent and my student loans for a while, I mean, obviously I was paid much more later, but man, it was tough, man. So it's cool that you're cognizant of that because I wasn't, and I wish that I was. I really wish I was.
I was
my
not
dad
at
makes
all.
sure I know. He reminds me every day. It's great. I get a text 3 times a week from my dad, "Hey, study hard because it costs a lot of money." And yeah, I know, Dad. I know.
I didn't do a student loan. I had a line of credit, and the way it works, it was a line of credit, and then I had to start paying off the principal once I was done school. I just had to pay the interest while I was in school. And at one point, I just didn't have a job and was just living off of that and stuff. And it was just I could have probably have about half the debt that I have now if I would have paid attention to it. But
that's part of being young, right?
That's true.
No, you just don't know.
The way we did it was when I was younger. Whenever I get birthday money or any money like that for his gifts, my dad would take half of it and we put it in a stock account. And then so by the time I got to college, I'm using that to pay for most of it. I think I'm only gonna owe $4 or $5 grand right when I get out, and that's gonna be it. I didn't have to take out any loans because my dad said he'd pay the difference of my stock account if I paid him back within 5 years. So I'm super fortunate because I'm talking to my friends and the loans that they are gonna have to pay off are insane, and I feel really lucky.
I'm gonna have to eat a pretty big bill if and when I go to law. That's, I guess comparatively though, the law schools in the States are a hell of a lot more expensive than they are here.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So I want to say only, but only is relative, obviously. I think it's between $12,000 and $15,000 a semester here for 3 years for law, which isn't bad. But anyway, Colin, I thought you were going to say, part of being young is digging yourself into debt unbeknownst, and then having to clamber back out.
No, I mean, well, maybe that is part of being young in the United States anyway. But it's No, I mean, I remember when I took out my loans for Northeastern, I was 17, and the only thing I remember about it is my dad co-signed for them so that I can get a better rate, and the only thing I remember him is being like, this, he's like, don't default on these. You know, I remember him being like, this is real, like, don't default on these loans, you know, and I'm like, because then he'd have to pay for them. That's basically all I remember, the only conversation I remember having until I was, 5 years later when I'm paying them off, because I owe $500 and something a month until 2027.
Oh my God, that's insane.
And I started paying in 2007. So, but like my buddy that went to school with me like owes like $200,000. There's like no way you can possibly pay something like that off with a bachelor's degree. It's like I don't even understand why like schools and the government let you even dig yourself in these kinds of holes because it's just unreasonable to get out. Like the big difference is my girlfriend when she has a PhD and she paid like a couple $100,000 for that. The difference is she's a doctor, like not a dude with a bachelor's degree. So like the amount of money you're gonna make is just different. It's almost I'm not one to like get in. It's a very liberal thing for me to say, but it is very predatory.
You're gonna say predatory lending? Yeah.
Yep, it's very predatory. Like it, and it's I don't know what the rules are in Canada, but in the United States you cannot declare bankruptcy on student loans. So like even if your financial situation is dire and you declare bankruptcy, when you get out of bankruptcy, the money that you owe is still there and it's still accruing interest. So it's a debt. It's like a life debt basically forever.
I'm fairly sure. My loans anyway. You can qualify for loans through the government, and it's a very low fixed interest rate, and it's literally just like a federal government department rather than having to go through a bank. Which
we didn't apply for any financial aid. Like we couldn't get any because we were like just over. My dad made like just over the amount where we could get any financial aid loans or anything like that. So the government was like, "You're on your own. Have fun. Get a real loan." We were like, "No, that's really not going to work out."
I mean, the problem is that it seems much more reasonable in Canada. In the U.S., it's so expensive to go to school because money is so easy to get. So it's like, it's not a situation where like, oh, you need a lot of money to get to college. It's the college is saying like, oh, the government just gives this shit out like it's fake monopoly money anyway. So let's just make school as expensive as possible, and that's why everyone is drowning in debt. If it was hard to get loans in the United States, college tuition would go down, which is why I say that the government shouldn't be involved in giving loans out at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, do what I do and go to school in Canada and then work in the States.
Yeah, you're getting that American money. It'll be worthless soon enough, so don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just smelt all your silverware down into bullion and go bury it in the fucking wood. Get yourself a go bag, go bury your silverware in the woods.
along with your 9mm bullets and your Campbell's baked bean cans.
That's right. If the Metro series has taught us anything, it's that those bullets are going to be worth money someday.
Hell yeah, they will. Currency.
So I'm terrified of guns. That's not, well, everyone probably doesn't want to be shot, but
yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption, I would say.
Sounds like a class.
But like,
it's like
I can't.
That's someone's fetish somewhere. Hey, come on, I need this, man.
But what I mean is, like, I can't even go watch fireworks because the noise bothers me so much that I get like anxiety attacks. And but I've been like really wanting to go learn how to shoot guns. Even though I know that it's probably a horrible idea because I'll probably like flinch and then shoot myself in the face. But
just do it in a really controlled environment. Like go to a range.
There's nothing wrong with being more educated about something that's potentially dangerous.
No, I don't have anything against people having guns and using them for recreational use, so long as that recreational use isn't killing people. Like,
That's fair.
That's a good point.
But what was I gonna add? My friend invited me to go shoot guns because she went last week, and I was drunk and I agreed to it. So next week you guys might find out how me shooting guns turned out.
Were you drunk while you were shooting the guns, though?
No, I haven't shot a gun yet.
Okay.
I got shot at when I was a little kid, and I think that's why I'm afraid of it. My little brother.
Shot at? All right.
Yeah.
With a real gun?
Yeah. My little brother was like shooting cans on the farm, and I walked by and didn't realize what he was doing, and he like just missed me.
What was he using? Like a BB gun or like a
Yeah.
22?
Like a BB gun,
Okay.
but...
Oh, okay. You would have been
okay.
all right. You would have been okay.
But when you're, like, 5...
Yeah, no, I haven't shot with a
And
BB
then
gun. It hurt so bad. Like airsoft guns, kind of just sting. Cause like we used to get airsoft guns at Sports Authority and then go into the woods and like pretend we were shooting each other. But like a BB gun, my brother accidentally shot me with one and it like killed. It hurt so bad for like weeks. It was like a welt and it got stuck under my skin and it was bad.
What the difference is that one's like a little plastic pellet and one's a metal pellet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the plastic, the ones that shoot plastic, they don't shoot that hard. Like not enough to break the skin.
Right.
shooting plastic on me.
Yeah, even if it was a 22 Eden, I'm sure you would have been okay.
I would have had a pretty cool scar if it wasn't okay.
From a 22, yeah, you would have had a huge.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, you might have had a big scar from that.
Or die.
Yeah, you know, the United States. What I love about not necessarily Canadians, because you guys are practically American anyway, but what I love is in Europe, you know, like everyone thinks about like they've never been here and they just watch TV. They think that like gunfights are just going on everywhere in the United States. Like everyone just walking around shooting guns. It's so funny, dude. It's like it's so funny to me, like the misconceptions that people have about our gun culture here. But I like that people think that though.
You could just go to Detroit.
I come to Detroit and it's not Die Hard, yeah.
No, like go to Detroit. And don't. Oh, here's a Detroit story, you guys. So they have this elevated like monorail in Detroit it's called the People Mover, and they thought it up in the 60s, but it took until like 1989 to get it made using 1960s technology. So
Sure.
yeah, we have like garbage monorail, and then we have the auto show, like the Detroit International Auto Show or whatever. This was last week, and we haven't had this many people here since the Super Bowl because apparently it's a big auto show, I guess, or something. And the People Mover had so many people on it, like not as many as it's rated to have, still under that, but it had so many people on that it rode off the rail, but it only goes 2 miles an hour. So it just went off the rail and landed on top of like a station. And like for 5 minutes, people were mad. They thought it stopped. They didn't realize it was off the rail. And then it rocked, and all the people were like, "Whoa!" And the police never came. They called the police like from inside this thing. They never came.
Isn't there only like one police person?
Yeah, it took like firefighters 4 hours to get there. And this is for the auto show. So these are people who came from like other countries and were like representing like this is how we show off like new Detroit by having the stupid People Mover go off the rails and have nobody know or nobody come and save these people.
I feel like as soon as I was told that I was to go on the People Mover, I would have taken it as a bad sign.
It sounds like it's taking flight when it's moving.
Maybe that's
the track
what I was
is only
trying
2
to do.
miles. Yeah, it's a 2.9 mile track, and it takes 50 minutes to get around the whole thing without stops because it misses stops all the time. It's unmanned too.
It sounds very like 1960s America, straight-laced meat and potatoes. Like, okay, we're gonna call the tram the People Mover, and we're gonna call the factories the metal makers. And shit, you know, shit like that. It's just like, yeah, no, straightforward. Just what it says on the box. We're gonna get it done. America.
Even better is like Comerica Park is where the Tigers play, and then Ford Field's where the Lions play, and they're moving the hockey stadium down there. And the People Mover doesn't go by any of those at all. So this thing is like the most obsolete it can be, and they're never gonna get rid of it.
You can't like not giggle when you say People Mover.
There's your Detroit update from me.
We haven't had one of those in a while. Thank you for that.
I haven't been home, so I was just listening to the radio and I heard that, and I was like, things are still going great when I'm not there. Sounds good.
So we have a question from one of our listeners. Hanso815 asks, do any of you get shudder memories, as in memories that make you shudder or feel embarrassed, which come to you without warning during some boring activity?
All the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
all the time.
Who wants to go first? I'm sure we all.
Everybody does.
Jimmy does.
Most of mine are school related, because I get like super nervous when like I have to talk in front of people. This one's actually from last semester. I had to present to 2 journalism classes because I'm the editor-in-chief of the paper, and be like, hey, come write for us. And I had a slideshow, but I put it up and I was so nervous that I forgot I had the slideshow. So I was referencing slides the entire time that weren't displayed, but no one would tell me. And then at the end of the presentation, I was like, "Any questions?" And no one had any. And then before the teacher could even say thanks or whatever, I walked out. I was like, "All right, bye." So the same teacher the other day wanted me to come and teach class on using Twitter and writing for journalism. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So I went in and the class was half kids that I didn't accept job offers for. I didn't give them jobs this semester. So they were all just on their phone the entire time, and I was horribly nervous. I don't remember anything I said, but my teacher said good job, so I was like, okay, I guess. So yeah, anything school related where I have to talk to people is I will think back on that and just go, ugh, no. No, thank you. But I'm fine talking to a camera. It's stupid.
I've never heard of someone blacking out while giving a presentation like that before.
I do.
I took public speaking. I don't remember one speech I gave.
Huh.
And they're all about video games.
I do public speaking fairly regularly, and then I perform on stage. And literally, as soon as I get up there, I know what I'm doing, but it goes by so fast, and I just kind of zone out as soon as I get on stage. I'm not usually nervous on stage, but
I was always fine playing drums on stage. I was cool with when I had a band in high school. It's just talking to school people is terrible.
I mean, I've had to do that before, but it was always for higher level political science classes, which is okay. There were still 60 or 100 people in the room, but I just get up and shuffle some cards around and be like, all right, let's talk about the Hobbesian state of nature, everybody, and then I just do that. It wouldn't be a problem.
Well, I would hope you would be good at that somewhat, considering you're going to have to do that in a courtroom at some point.
Well, yeah. Talk about the state of nature, and maybe. I don't know. So here's a deal. You ever seen Lord of the Flies? Okay, so this movie stole that idea from some dead English guy who said that people would try to kill you especially if you were asleep. To just take your fruit and shit and your sticks that you had sharpened. So sleep in a tree. And that's why we divest all of our power into the government. Thank you. Good night.
I get shudder memories about anytime I was a drunk asshole. If I think back to it, I'm just oh god, even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me
worst
too.
human being. And most of them I can laugh off, but the one time when I kicked my professor in the face, that gives me shivers. But
have you told that story?
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel actually. But yeah.
Okay, good.
But the other thing is basically anytime I've had my foot in my mouth, I'm ooh, or bad dates. As soon as I think back to those, I get that. And the 2 times where I've had performances where I just got off the stage and cried because they were so bad. Because it's just it's obviously my fault they were bad. But yeah, I don't know. What about you, Colin?
I always kind of talk about how anything before age 25 is a shudder memory for me. No, I mean I played drums in a band. And, yeah, it's basically 25 consecutive years. Is one memory.
It's an extensive back catalog.
Yeah, I played drums in a band in college, and I agree with Eden. I never had a bad performance or had a hard time up there. In fact, you get nervous and then you play and then it's over and you don't really want it to end. I mean, that was always my experience in that kind of situation. No, I mean, I just think you just think about situations or scenarios or things you said. I worked at Massachusetts Historical Society, which is the oldest historical society in the United States. Okay. And I started there when I was 20, and I worked there until I was 21. And I had I remember going to my interview, and I had a huge mohawk and shit like that. And people have seen pictures of me with my mohawk when I was younger or whatever. But they hired me and they loved me there, and it was a great experience. But I was little things why did I think that was okay? You know, little you think back at just little mores you might have broken or things you should have said differently or whatever. So every once in a while, something random that I haven't thought about in a long time will spring into my head where I'm man, I handled that really poorly. Not because I was dumb, but because I was young. So yeah, basically, that's exactly right. Everything you think is normal or important when you're 16 or 18 or 21 just is irrelevant, basically. And you don't realize that until you're an old man, like 30 years old, like I am. I'm almost dead now at this point.
Oh boy. It's like, man, I shouldn't have been wearing a Primus T-shirt while I was teaching people about flintlock muskets. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, what? Why did I just, it's just like weird stuff like that where I'm like, why did I think this was funny or okay or like cool, Not that I was ever doing anything. I was never really a bad kid or did anything wrong, really, I guess, but it's just like the things that you were talking to with the way you talk to people or how you interacted with them or whatever, or where you thought, like I used to walk into class. I have like tinnitus really bad from playing drums and from loud ass music because I like my music like really, really, really loud. And just like little things, like I would go into class at Northeastern and I would have my headphones like blaring, like 311 or some shit like that, and then just like walk in this silent classroom with all this music blaring, and you thought it was like, oh, cool, like I'm cool right now because I'm listening to my loud ass music, and it's like, dude, you're just disruptive and stupid. What's wrong with you? Just little things like that, So basically, everything before age 25 was just a disgrace for me. So I've only really been living for 5 years, I guess is what I'm saying.
I really hope that not everything before 25 is a disgrace for me, because then I have 2 more years of dealing with that.
Yeah, but you don't see the beauty of not being 25 yet is that you don't know that yet. So just enjoy it, and then when you're older, you'll realize like that when you were 23 or 22.
Else.
No, it's not about being an asshole. I don't know if the other guys agree with me, or they're at least Jimmy's too young, but like it's not. There's nothing wrong with being that way when you're that old. It's just that you look back on it with a little bit of wisdom, I think. And I think as you get older, you just get a little I think it's true. Like you get a little wiser. Yeah. Like,
makes sense to you at the time, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. You look back on it, it's like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have folded that resume, or hey, maybe I don't know, anything like that. I have one that I look back on that was like not embarrassingly shuddery, but like if one iota had been different, I would be missing a big toe shuddery. I was like I think I was like 8 or 10 years old, and my family and I were on vacation out in the mountains. We rented this cottage, and I was just like, I'm gonna go chop some wood. And I wasn't big enough or strong enough to be doing that at that age, just given that the wood cutting axe that there was out behind this cabin was like real big. And having no idea the proper technique of chopping wood, I went to split this chunk initially.
This is horrifying.
And I completely whiffed on it, and I shaved a little bit of the toenail of my big toe off. Like it wasn't no blood, no gore, no messiness, no nothing like that. But like there was just this like deli meat thin piece of toenail, and I was like, wow, if that would have gone slightly differently, would have been a real messy situation.
Yeah.
I get a perpetual one like every week when we put our paper out, and the emails I get from parents once they get them in their mailbox, those will stick with me, I think, for the rest of my life. The stuff like parent complaints. Like,
what do they say?
Like, well, we have an opinions, like a column section, and like one time I wrote about how they remodeled the cafeteria, and I was like, great, they remodeled everything except what they have to, the food. Like, the food is terrible, they should get new food. And that was my column. And the mom emailed in, and she was like, my daughter really likes the food in that place. She actually works in the cafeteria, and I think you offended her. I think you should apologize to her in the paper. And then I was like, haha, okay, no, I didn't answer. And then a week later, my advisor came in. She's like, apparently some girl's mom is mad because you said you didn't like the food in the paper, and I'm supposed to tell you that because she keeps calling my office. But don't do anything about it. And I was like, okay. And then another one was, it was from a teacher, because this guy who runs like religious services here or something said something that offended her, but she's so old that she remembered a time that he was referencing and was like, I remember exactly what so-and-so said at that time, and it was not that. And then she gave me the real sentence, and it was 3 words different, and she was trying to get this dude fired, and it's so weird, the stuff people care about with our school paper.
Yeah.
Like, we'll write it, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
When I was
it's like those public forums in Parks and Rec. It's ridiculous.
When I was in high school, I wrote music reviews in our high school paper, and there was this one band, and I gave them the worst review, and then like I think it was last summer I went to a show, and this one member that was in that band like had read it, and it was like it wasn't even on the internet. I guess a friend just like sent it to them from our high school, and they like were still holding a grudge about that. And I was like, sorry, it wasn't good. Bye. And I had no idea what to do.
I just don't answer half the time. I don't answer half the emails I get for newspaper. I only answer them if I'm told to because I get in trouble for not answering them. That's my philosophy of that. Because there's no way I don't know what to say.
Have either of you had that with like a game dev after giving a bad review? Like you or Colin?
Yeah, I mean, I've had, I think most game devs and publishers like the big thing that people don't understand, I think, outside of the industry is that developers and publishers aren't stupid and they know if their game sucks. So like they're not surprised if they get their games get bad reviews. Like you can read into like when you get the game about how confident the publisher is in it and stuff like that. Usually, like the order, for instance, we don't know when we're gonna get that, but the order is gold already. So like it's in cert now and it's gonna be ready long before the game comes out, but you would assume you can read into how confident Sony is by how early you get the game and what the embargo is and stuff like that.
Or if they market it because it's Sony.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sony pretends like half their games don't even exist, so which is a whole other thing. What a weird thing that is. But yeah, like I've never had like really bad encounters with people, publishers or developers, mostly because they just go straight to the editor-in-chief anyway. So. It's kind of like a professional courtesy to like for the editor-in-chief to talk to them, and if there's like a problem with someone or something that someone said. That said, like that's never stopped me from being totally honest or whatever. And most, I would say the vast majority of publishers and developers I've dealt with are very gracious, very kind people. They put their heart and soul into the game even if it's not good, and they understand that everyone's they're doing a job, I'm doing a job, and my job at IGN was for the readers to tell them if the game was good or bad, save them money, or tell them how to spend their money if they only have a little bit. Like I took that pretty seriously, so because I used to take reviews very seriously too. I mean, they PSM and Nintendo Power, even though Nintendo Power was kind of in the tank, you didn't really know it at the time. They guided me along the way. So no, I've never really had these like weird encounters really where like someone's like shit talking you and getting it's just like an unprofessional kind of way to be. But who the hell knows what people were saying to the editor-in-chief or whatever? I don't know.
Are the games that are like one or two people making them, when we write news stories that are about anything, even if it's anything that's not exceptionally great about the game, they'll tweet at us and stuff like that, and that's always super awkward because it's like, do I answer you or not? And we usually just send them to either like Mitch or Zach, and then they handle it. But that's always really awkward when they do it on Twitter and they like plead for you to change a story.
Is it more awkward when they're not really aggro about it? If they're just like, guys, come on, we're doing our best here.
Well, sometimes they come at you with an attitude that's like, oh, I worked so hard, like you could just please, like I gotta eat, and then you're like, I don't want to answer you because this is weird. When they're mean about it, then you can just retweet them, and then other people will handle it for you. But if they're like super nice, you clap and you're like, this is not what I've signed up for at all. I'm not going to change a news story when I'm just like stating a fact about your game.
I think that's an important skill to learn is to not, I don't want to say backpedal because that's a little bit too strong of a statement, but just like having your stuff tuned to the point where you're happy with it and where it makes sense, getting it out there, and then just being like, look, this is it. I've already signed on the dotted line. Like this is what I mean to say. I've tweaked it, I've tuned it, I've got it the way that I want it, and that's it. It's about
like going out of your way not to embellish on anything, really. Like just report the facts, and that's like all you can do. And I feel like if you do that, you can feel good about it at the end of the day, really. No matter what.
For me too, like when I get bad music reviews, which has happened, it feels fine to me because it's like I put it out there and it's subjective.
Yeah, and they're just
I'm
wrong.
happy with what I made. Yeah, they're wrong. Their opinions are all wrong. But that's not true. But like I've gotten like really good criticism from people, and I've also had like people who will like email me unsolicited advice about how to sing and stuff, which is annoying. That I get mad about. But like if somebody comments on like, she shouldn't have recorded her album in GarageBand, I was like, well, okay, try to make a studio album in a week. Okay.
Yeah, buy me better software then.
But
Yeah, I think to me it's the one thing I try to respect with I always try to be metered and not mean or not mean spirited about the things I say, even if it's a criticism. Mostly because I know what it's like to be shit upon because people shit on me literally every day of my life. So
wait, they literally shit on you?
no, they shit on me literally every day of my life, not literally shit. Although the definition
Don't sound bad.
changed, the definition of literally has apparently changed. Which I'm disappointed in. But
Yeah,
You were like,
English,
just tweeting
English is
about
a
that. That happened
English is
like
a living
year ago.
language, man.
You were late on that one, Colin. I saw you tweeting about it. That happened a while ago. People
It's
were
a few
fighting
years
about it.
ago.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. What am I? I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not like sitting here like following the
You don't read the
how
dictionary?
Oxford is like updating his dictionary. I give a fuck.
As
But,
far as I'm concerned, everything started going downhill when they said that you could use irregardless. Like that was.
No, they didn't.
That's a real thing. Oh, they said it's somewhat acceptable to use the word
Oh,
irregardless. As regardless.
yeah, that word I love that word, even though it's not a word. I never use it, but I love it anyway. But yeah, like people are mean to me all the time, and like so I try not to be mean spirited about the things I say. People give me criticism that's like useful for our products or whatever, what we do and how I write and how I talk and how we do everything kind of funny and stuff. But yeah, so like it's all about like just being professional and respectful because like honest to God, like no one can ever say anything to me that's never been said to me before that's like mean. Like anything under the sun that like can be said about me has been said about me by someone. So I try to be cognizant of that because not everyone's in that. That's I have a pretty thick skin at this point. I think people would huddle in a corner and cry if they saw some of the things that were said to me on a regular basis for 8 years. So I just try to respect that with other people. So if I don't like a game, I'm not going to say like, well, these guys fucking suck. I'm going to say like, well, because some people really make it about like the developer or about like whatever. It's like it's not about them. It's like they're trying. They're not. What developer wants to work on a bad game? It doesn't make any sense. It's about the game that's bad and all the or the product or whatever. So I just try to keep that in context too because I know what it's like to say like, oh, kind of funny sucks or Colin sucks. It's like, well, it's two different things, dude. And maybe I do suck, but at least say it nicer than you just suck and you should fucking die or whatever people say to me.
People say awful shit all the time.
Yeah, well, I know you deal with it too, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got a way thicker skin than I did last year when it just started and stuff, but like, I've definitely noticed that the way that I behave and the way that I speak to other people has gotten way better after like having to go through people saying like, go get raped and die. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you.
Why? What was the impetus behind you being harassed anyway? I don't even understand like what happened with you.
So I did YouTube videos for a few months in 2013, just trying it out, and I did a video that was just like talking about amoeba circumcision. It wasn't necessarily positive or negative. I was just discussing it. And I'm a feminist, so there was like some things that I agreed with her on, and then there was a large group of anonymous people that just started like attacking the comments on that and then emailing me, and then that like simmered down, and that was like a year ago, and then basically any time something big happened with Jimmy and Eden, or when my album came out, or basically any time that I would be up on the Googles, it would come back, and then now I don't think that the people that were harassing me like a year ago are the same people, because that would be a lot of patience, but it just kind of snowballed, and I don't know, some people have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah, I'm sorry they have to deal with that. I'm sorry anyone has to deal with that. I wish that people use their, it's fun to be snarky sometimes or to make fun of something, but I don't understand the personal nature of the internet very well. I don't understand like why it's like that and like why people want to be like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me, So I'm sorry I'm sorry anyone has to go through that kind of stuff. I don't know what it's like to be a woman on the internet. I would never pretend to know what that was like. I mean, that's a totally different story, but I do know what it's like to be shit upon every day. And so I can sympathize at least somewhat with your plight, and I know not in totality for sure, but yeah, it's a shitty kind of thing. Like I don't understand why the internet's like that, why people want to be like that and propagate this negativity when the internet has this and I think is very positive in many ways, but has this opportunity and possibility to be this overwhelmingly positive, world-changing device that it's shit, but everyone just trolls each other and shit on it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is like you don't get any opportunities trolling people. Like you get opportunity if you pretty much everyone I know, if they do something creative and they're positive and they're nice people and they put it out there, they're going to get at least some support through the internet. And if you keep doing that, then you end up getting a lot of support. And it's just like so counterproductive to be an asshole.
I wonder. See, I feel like with Mr. Show coming back, maybe that's going to be a skit. It's just like, yeah, in this bizarro world, you do get credit for being an asshole on the internet, and it's just like, take you live to the shitlord BAFTAs here, and he's giving out trophies to people for being trolls on the internet.
I don't know. It sucks. Like even in the podcast Beyond Facebook group, the stuff people post, we made it like because I'm an admin. We made it so we have to see every post pretty much that goes up, and we have to approve most of them because of the stuff people just post there over and over, and they'll make like fake accounts, and they're people, and we can see like who they are, and we know who they are making the accounts, and then they'll message us and be like, "Hey guys, you're great admins," blah blah blah. They think everyone's stupid. I don't get that. They think like it's like little kids trying to pull something behind their teacher's back, and then the teacher's like knows everything that's going on, and the kids think they're really smart.
I mean, when I was a little kid, I did a lot of dumb shit on the internet.
Yeah, but you were a little
like,
kid.
Yeah, but probably a lot of those people are little kids. A lot of them are probably bored adults being dickheads, but there's a lot of little kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, there are a lot of little kids. But a lot of time when you call them on it, you know, it's like everyone's so ready to apologize, and then I hope those people don't do it anymore. You never know.
I really love the woman, and she was getting harassed, I think, through her Facebook page or something. I can't remember all the details, but she would just look up the person's mother and then message their mother and send them all the shitty things that they were saying to her. And sometimes it was like a child that was doing this, but a lot of the times it was like grown men and women sending shitty things through the internet, and then they had to deal with their moms knowing about it.
You gotta wonder what these people are hoping to accomplish, because like I think some part of them has to realize that, you know, if you're gonna be just anonymous and virulently hateful towards someone on the internet, I mean, like, you know, anonymity is fine or whatever in certain circumstances, but like no one's gonna lend any credence to the criticism you're leveling if you go about it the way that some of these people go about it. So you gotta wonder, like, are you actually trying to criticize something? Are you trying to have your voice heard, or are you just out there to hurt people? And if you're just out there to hurt people, then that's really too goddamn bad.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of psychopaths out there on the internet, but I do agree with what Evan was saying before, which was that like you kind of do. I've learned that you kind of do get what you put out there back, at least for the most part. I think that, you know, I used to be much more brash and much louder and more annoying, I think, than I am now, although I'm still annoying to a lot of people. But you know, and that got me in a lot more conflict with people when I like a few years ago when I really toned it down. And I was like, I'm not going to really play this kind of game anymore, people. Then it became a much more positive experience for me. So I just think there's a lot of straight militants, you know, like on the internet, like on people on all sides, like every side. Like there's just crazy fucking people that like just poke other people and like poke hornets' nests and get crazy with it, and then are surprised when people, you know, don't take kindly to that. I think that it's a level of tone and how we talk to each other. I think that is gone, and obviously being anonymous for a lot of people on the internet is gone too. The thing is that I'm not anonymous on the internet, and you know that's not what makes me want to treat people with respect. I think I would respect people if I was anonymous too, because that was just how I was raised.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know if there's maybe like a psychological aspect there to it. You know, like a whole the David and Goliath thing, where some of these people just think like, yeah, well, I don't know, I'm just some dude on the internet. You know, I can say whatever I want because, you know, who cares what you know, people don't care what I think or whatever, right? And maybe there is like a weird inferiority complex at least mixed in there somewhere. Who knows? You know, and they would like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm, you know, throwing rocks at the sun or whatever, and then are surprised when people turn around and actually answer them.
I think there's definitely something to that, you know, but I always try to tell people I'm not, just because I have like a lot of Twitter followers, ever doesn't mean I'm any different than these people, and like I try to interact with as many of them as possible and tell them, you know, I'm the first person to tell you I'm not the most talented person in the world. I'm like very lucky, you know, and I try not to, you know, act like I'm above anyone because I'm not above anyone. So if people want to have a conversation with me, then by all means have a conversation with me. You know, I'm just same. You know, I always tell people I'm just them. I'm just a gamer and a normal dude. So you don't have to come at me like that. If you want to have a conversation, I'll be glad to have a conversation with you. I just don't understand how it's gotten to that point, and it's so vitriolic and negative, But there's a lot of positivity on the internet too. I mean, there's just plenty of positivity. You just gotta find it, Greg always brings up a really good point of like when he used to like kind of combat the trolls on Twitter. That someone made a great point to him, which was like, dude, like you got this negative tweet and it stuck out to you, and so you fight back with this guy, but like 50 people just tweeted at you something positive, and you don't answer them at all,
Yeah.
And like that's a great point, and that's what I'm trying to feed into. So I just block people with reckless abandon and try to cultivate a positive. Yeah, try to just cultivate a level of positivity. The thing that people, especially the negative people out there, the thing that they don't understand is that I don't owe them anything. Like I don't owe you, time if you want to be mean to me, or anything like that. Like, so it's just instead of combating people, let's just block them. I mean, we can just go our separate ways and not have to deal with each other anymore.
Yeah.
Has it always been as rotten as it's been in the last couple of years, and we just didn't notice it?
No, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I've been on the internet every day of my life since like 1995. Or like 1996. It's like it's definitely not been like this.
Yeah.
There's always been negativity and trolls. I mean, it just was going on in chat rooms or whatever. But it's like
now people have it in their phones and stuff, so it's like so much more accessible to become an idiot.
Exactly. I wonder if the propensity was there for everyone to be negative. If it was just easier to be negative in say 1998 than it is now, then would it have happened? Probably. But I feel like the internet's only gotten this negative with the rise of Twitter and I don't even want to say Facebook because I've been on Facebook for 11 years and Facebook was fine until like 2 years ago. So it's like I really think
people out on Facebook.
Yeah, it's like I just think like Northeastern was one of the first schools on Facebook, and my account's been going since I think like April or May of 2004. And it was great. It's evolved a lot, but it's just like what it is now and what it used to be is different. I think Twitter has always kind of been this kind of negative space for some people, but the amount of positivity that you find on Twitter there is overwhelming too. And again, I just try to, like I've been saying, like the last few years, I've just been trying to bask and maintain my space in that positivity as opposed to being sucked into the negative aspects of the internet, because like there's people out there on the internet that just like don't stop fighting with each other, and it's like I don't like what is the point of all of this? Like go like read a book or something, or like hang out with like your spouse, like you know what I mean? Like go like what is the point of this? Like this negativity and this vitriol that people hurl at each other over like video games, especially. I kind of understand it in politics and stuff like that, but like I really don't get it when it comes to like something that is like a leisure activity. Like, is it really that serious that we have to fucking fight each other about everything all the time?
I mean, people do that about sports too. Like,
yeah.
But, anyways.
I think there's an issue. There's a for another like funny skit. It's just like political Twitter shit talking as if it was like it was in video games. I don't know. I'd watch that.
So Porter Smoked Porter, that is a weird name, says he has 2 questions. Colin, any possibility of a show featuring just you and Nick, the producer/seducer, Scarpino? I really enjoy when the 2 of you have conversation during the Game Over Gravy show.
Maybe. I mean, the thing that's kind of funny right now is that we are. I don't want to say we bit off more than we can chew, but we didn't anticipate how hard this was going to be in totality. Like, I think that we knew it was going to be hard and we were going to be busy, but I think that the programming schedule we have right now keeps us plenty busy, and there's just not enough hours in the day, and there's only 4 of us, so.
You gotta give yourself time to adjust and make things efficient.
Yeah, exactly. We're working on it, and it's getting better. But like, there's just so many things to think about. The one thing I really want to focus on right now, because we've had such overwhelming support on Patreon, is to make sure that those specific people are getting their money's worth from us, because we really are honored by their support and want to give them as much as we can. So we have a bunch of stuff on there that we're going to be doing with them, but my main focus is like making sure that they are satisfied and that more people want to maybe come into that fold if they're satisfied too, and then making sure that just anyone that wants to watch our content is also satisfied with the amount we're doing. Our approach is less is more, like, and we think that is reasonable. There's only so many hours in the day, so like, how much content do you really need or want anyway, and how much you're going to watch? We want to have a scheduling a programming schedule rather, where people really want to watch everything, and they can if they want to, and it's not like this overwhelming like 50 video upload a day garbage that, like, what is the point of that? Like, for a normal person.
24-hour news cycle with kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like that's not what we're gonna do. So like I think that would be fun. I love Nick. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is I've known Nick longer than pretty much anyone. Like our relationship goes back longest. Like Nick and I have been associated with IGN for a long time, and I love Nick very much and have a lot of great memories with him. And that's why we have great reports because I've known him for so long. I just think people look at Greg and I as a group, and then kind of Tim and Nick as a group, and not realize that there's like a lot of cross synthesis between us too. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, maybe one day, but we have our hands full right now, and I just really want to focus on making sure we're doing what we're doing right. And like I said, we exchanged our reach on IGN for intimacy with a smaller group of people, so I want to make sure that group of people are satisfied. And if that's what a lot of them want is a show with Colin and Nick, then obviously we'll consider that. But I don't think that that's what they really want.
Putting the podcasts on SoundCloud was like the best thing ever. That made it so much easier to listen to it. Like doing the Patreons, like actual like downloading through them was the worst because it would download like half the podcast sometimes. So getting it on like SoundCloud and iTunes, that was awesome, especially when you're paying for it. That was cool.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that we were able to do that. I mean, that was all Tim. I mean, we had some difficulty with how we were going to do everything, and we knew we wanted to have like a kind of a paid product because podcasting's not easy, and it's difficult to be able to do things. After work and when you're kind of trying to maintain like a schedule and stuff like that, we want to make sure people were getting value, but also like can get it where they wanted it. And we just couldn't put it on iTunes to begin with because you can't charge for podcasts there. So we had to slowly figure out a way to do everything, and we figured it out that we should just give it away for free later, and the people that want to buy it early can do that, and everyone's happy. So I'm glad our podcasts like shot through the roof, both of them, when we put them on iTunes, so we're happy that even people that don't want to support us, and I am not offended if people don't want to support us. I don't blame you if you don't want to support us. Can at least get the content for free later
on. The other question that Porter Smoke Porter asked is if I'm going on tour, and I am, kind of. In March, I will be doing some shows around Canada, but he asked if I'm going to Chicago, and no, because getting a visa is a really big pain in the butt for me now.
Chicago would be awesome. You should do it.
Yeah, I'd love to play in Chicago and San Francisco and stuff.
Kickstart it.
As an artist, getting a visa is like really hard because you have to go through a booking agent and stuff, and I don't have time. So we're podcasting.
Have to hide all your merch and fake amp cabinets.
We could put Eden in fake amp cabinets and send her to Chicago.
Yeah, do that. That'll work.
Yeah.
Moist Llamas.
Okay. Sure.
Asks, has there been a good fan memory that has stuck with you guys?
Wait, what is the question?
Has there been a good fan memory?
Stuck with you?
Yeah,
a lot of them. I mean, I think what Greg and I reminded at PSX when we did Podcast Beyond that people really are passionate about what we do, and what I'm always surprised about is that they don't understand that we're passionate about them. That like we are like everyone's always surprised, like, oh, we hung around for like 2 hours afterwards and took pictures of people and signed their little tchotchkes and stuff like that. And that's so cool that people want us to do that, and all my memories kind of go back to that as far as we've met thousands of people that listen to these shows and want to hang out with us and stuff, and a lot of them are always surprised when it's like, oh, you waited around to meet us and stuff, and it's like, we're nothing without you. Like, we owe you everything. Like we want to be there with you and experience things with you and stuff like that. And that PSX thing was especially poignant for us because we already knew that we quit, but we couldn't tell anyone yet. So it was like we knew that was going to be the last time we ever did Beyond Live, and that Beyond will live on without us in whatever form it is, and however if they do that, it's up to them. We don't own it, but. So I think it's just a matter of how we interact with the fans generally at Comic-Con or at E3 or at PAX or whatever. Like, there's nothing in particular that sticks out other than the fact that I have had nothing but good experiences with the fans, and I'm always honored that they give a shit. And I'm always surprised when they're surprised that we give a shit. Yeah, I guess is kind of the way to put it.
Yeah, the first time that I got asked to do like a meetup was the weirdest thing, and that was fairly recently. But it was just like I've never like really considered people to be fans, whether it's with music and hi Portilla. Um, whether it's with music or anything, because it's just like I ask my friends to come to my show, or my friends buy my album, or my friends listen to my podcast, and I make new friends that way, or we make friends through people being guests on the show and stuff. So it's always been like,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of really overwhelming support for both this show and music, and I don't think I could ever like define one specific moment where it was like, oh, I have a fan. But
that's the way I feel too. It's just that like it's all I know is that like I'm blown away that people give a shit about anything we do, and so like when they care, like they really care, it's awesome because I really care that they really care, and you know, I like, you know, humility and stuff like that is like I'm never gonna like I really feel like I'll never lose that like that small side of me that's like, you know, that is waiting for the other shoe to drop and kind of unsure about why this works and like why people care and stuff like that. So like every day that I'm able to do it is a blessing. Like when people ask Greg and I about like, oh, how some people didn't really understand like, well, how could you leave IGN and like why did you leave, and this is like a dream come true. And Greg and I could have stayed there forever if we wanted to. We were well compensated. Like we had a good thing there and a successful thing there. The fact is that we just, you know, we you know, I can't really speak for Greg, I guess. He would have to tell you himself, but like I just didn't want to do that stuff anymore. But it had nothing to do with the connection to the people I had met through IGN. It was just that I wanted to do something else. And even if it was all taken away from me tomorrow, which I hope it isn't, it was a great way to spend my 20s and a great honor for me to be able to meet all these people that really care and be able to kind of like synthesize our ideas and our loves. And I kind of feel like maybe I'm able to speak for them and, you know, give them some ideas, and they're able to give me some ideas, and we're able to have good conversations and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just I'm rambling, but I just, you know, I love when people ask about that because I'm always so honored that, you know, we're able to do what we want, because I'm not like the most talented dude in the world, and Greg sure as hell isn't. So, you know, so I don't know.
I'll take the clanging of those pots and pans as implicit agreement.
Yeah. He's just I don't know what he's doing. Hey, buddy. So.
My favorite moment of this past year was hanging out with Portillo and not talking to anybody when I went to Greg's house because I was tired. I just hung out with the dog.
Yeah, you were kind of silent. That's true. Yeah, we had a lot of people over. Portillo's a good boy. So he's a dummy.
I think this will be the last question. Colin, what gouge are your earrings? Or gauge? Is it gauge?
Gauge.
That's asked by Mr. Fuzzy Paws.
I think they're 8s, but I'm not positive. They're not super big. But I can't even remember anymore because I got them in 2002 and I've just never taken them out. So these are rap rock earrings to the fucking max. So but I just never removed them from my ears. So it's 2015 now, so it's been 13 years.
Man, CBRs like that, when they get into the bigger sizes, are just absolutely ridiculous looking. Like I used to have my ears at ½ inch, I think is what it was.
Wow.
But to get up there, like through the stretching process, you would stretch them and then obviously put something in to fill the gap so that they wouldn't close back in. And 9 times out of 10, it was CBRs. And I think I had a pair of 0 or 00 of those same types of earrings that you're wearing, which were just like, it was like wearing a padlock basically, which is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I often think about taking them out and putting plugs in, but I'm a superstitious person. I was talking to my girlfriend actually about, when I was a goalie in hockey for all those years, I used to write weird on the bottom of my skates. And I started doing that because Kirk McLean used to do it. He used to play for the Canucks. And I just thought it was cool. Like, when they started putting goalie cams in the net so you can see behind the goalie or whatever, and so you would see it in shots of him when he was on the ice or whatever. Anyway, I don't know why I started writing that on my skates when I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and then like I just kept writing it on the bottom of my skates because I just was afraid not to. So I'm now afraid. I guess what I'm saying is I'm afraid to take my earrings out because something bad's gonna happen to me if I do it. So that's why they're still in, and I haven't changed them in for plugs or something like that because the holes will never close. So I have to do something.
No, I've heard conflicting accounts on that. Like, but
yeah, I was just gonna ask that if they'll ever close.
Most people I've talked to, and this includes people who do piercing professionally, is that the point of no return is, I think, 2 or 0. I mean, it depends on your physiology, right? Like some people are better at healing than others, but I would say if you were to take those out, you'd probably have a pretty good shot of them sealing back in.
It could be. I just feel like I don't know. Like having been in for all these years and having like they don't bleed or ooze or anything. Like they're just fine. They just
No.
but I'm saying like they've been this healed entity on my body since I was 18 or whatever.
Yeah,
if I take them out, like how's my body even gonna know? You know what I mean? That they're gone at this point. You know, like
yeah,
that's
like I have my belly button pierced, and I got it when I was 12, and then I took it out when I was 21, and it's still like it's a small little hole, and it's not healed at all. I put it in the other day just to see, and it's like fine. And like I haven't worn my earrings, and like they're just small holes too, and I haven't worn earrings in like 2 years. Then I put them in the other day for a party, and it was like, yeah, I have piercings that I don't put things in.
My ears actually closed up quite significantly. Like when I think I was either really sick or it was right around when I broke my leg or something like that. But I wasn't moving around a lot, and this was when my earlobes were like at the biggest they were, and I just like took the plugs out that I was wearing and didn't put them back in for like a month, and they wouldn't fit. So I don't know. I guess it varies for people, but like I said, they probably will close in. But why get rid of them, man? You're not in a vocation where you would have to, and if you feel like they're a part of you, then why not just keep them?
Yeah, I just like them. Like I'm kind of sticking with it to the point where maybe they'll come back one day, and then I'll be because these aren't like in at all anymore. But it's just like I don't care. Like, who am I trying to impress at this point in my life? I'm an old man. I'm grumpy. I work at home with Greg. There's like nothing to be happy about. So like, who am I trying to impress with my fucking choice of earrings right now? You know? Yeah. No, but seriously, like I like them and I don't really care. You know, like I'm not trying to be stylish. I like the way they look and I don't even think about them anymore. They're just there.
They suit you.
Part of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do suit you. Absolutely. Yeah. They would be like it's weird how like when I had ones like that in and I would take them out, I would feel weird the weight not being there. It would just really throw me for a loop.
I'm like that whenever I get a haircut.
Really yeah.
I've been thinking about cutting off all my hair again, and I just like feel like I would be disoriented for a while because my hair, like when it's down, it's almost at my belly button at this point. So it's just like,
long.
Yeah, and I'm like considering like getting it like cut above shoulder length. So it's just like,
Wow. Do it.
One day. I'm gonna just like talk about doing it for the next year or so, and then I'll forget that I wanted to do it. Probably.
It was like me with my hair, and then I took the plunge. And I'm happy I did.
Yay. On that note, I think it's time to wrap up. Thank you, Colin.
No,
yeah, thank you so much.
No, it was good to see you guys again, and happy to always hang out with you guys. And sorry, I'm not a little more, let's say, cogent today. We're just working so much, so it's like I don't even really know what the hell's going on anymore. But we're so, anyone out there that enjoys Kind of Funny or what Greg and I do, and Nick and Tim, thank you so much for supporting us. And we're doing our best to deliver what we think you guys want and try to kind of get out of that old media game and do something a little more fun and a little more off the cuff and a little more straightforward, I think, too. No review scores.
Good.
No more review scores.
I can back that wholeheartedly. Does it feel good to be able to talk about video games and stuff doing Kind of Funny now? Like, was it weird?
Awesome.
Was it weird? Was it like, did it get super weird not being able to do that when you were at IGN?
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was weird. I mean, we made do, but I think we realized that we would just be happier doing our own thing and talking about games the way we want to talk about them. There's nothing wrong with the way IGN talks about games. There's nothing wrong with the way the other sites talk about games. And obviously YouTubers have been doing this for a long time. We're late to the game in that respect, but we just want to do it our own way, and we think that there are people out there that want us to do it our own way. Podcast Beyond is Greg and I doing it our own way, and so like why not try to do that with everything? So we're trying to do that, and we hope that it succeeds, and we hope people will enjoy it and encourage their feedback, let us know what we're doing right and wrong. That's very important to us. So like we're trying to interact and be very, very intimate with the people that listen to us in the sense that like we want to hear from you, we want to interact with you, and so I think we're doing the right thing, but I don't know. You know, like maybe we're not. Maybe people out there want us to do something different, in which case we have to adjust. So that kind of feedback's going, and we're nimble and we're malleable right now, you know. But yeah, it was weird not being able to do it, and now it's awesome because I can just say whatever I want, and you know. But you know, to be fair, like, you know, we owe a great deal to IGN, and you know, we love them and respect them, and they're gonna be fine without us. They're totally fine without us. No one even knows we're gone. But it's which is exactly what we want. Like literally, I don't think anyone even cares that we're gone from there at this point. But you know, they do things their own way, and they've let us off. You know, they didn't have like their hooks in us or anything like that. It's just that now we're just free to be able to do whatever we want without having to worry about, you know, conflicting with our day jobs, because this is our day job. So yeah.
There you go. Sounds good to me. You heard it here first, folks.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for watching. If you want us to do more live shows, let us know. This is the first one we've done, and it seems like it went pretty well.
Yeah.
That would be, let us know in the comments below. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put up short clips of funny things that are said on the show that are animated by Christian Puente. And you can find all the episodes of the show on jimmyandean.com and follow us on Twitter at jimmyandean. Colin, where can they find all the kind of funny stuff?
What is our Twitter account? Oh, Kind of Funny Vids. Sorry, we have to balance because we have like Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games and Kind of Funny Vids.
Kind of funny Heavy Industries. Kind of Funny
Yep.
LLC.
Kind of Funny People. Kind of Funny People Mover.
Yeah.
Kind of funny oil field operations. You guys
Yeah.
just started your
Hope you guys
just started your fracking arm in South Dakota, right? That was
Yep.
a pretty impressive move.
The Kind of Funny pipeline will bring it from the Kind of Funny Saskatchewan oil fields to the Kind of Funny New Orleans, you know, tankers.
Yeah, and it's too bad that they're really sandbagging you guys in Congress over that. I don't know. I know they say the jobs are temporary, but who knows?
Oh god, that's a whole other issue. Yeah, it's just, well, my whole argument with that, just real quick, is that it's not going to stop the Canadians from getting it out of the ground, so we might as well get in on it. That's my whole thing. But yeah, no, they can find us at Kind of Funny Vids, me at No Taxation. You know, come talk to me, let me know what we're doing right and wrong. Again, like I'm kind of our social media manager, which is really funny to me. So, so I interact with a lot of people every day. I answer as many tweets as possible, and the feedback has been very valuable about kind of dictating our course. So, that's another great thing, is we're not big, so we can move as people want us to move, and zig as people want us to zig, and zag as people want us to zag. So let me know, you know, what you guys want, what you guys, you know, your feedback, and Colin and Greg live on Twitch. Come join us there. That's always fun.
I love that show. I watch it in the background whenever I'm working, and it's like the best.
Thanks. We're really shocked by how well that show is doing. I mean, we're getting like between 45 and 7,000 people concurrently a day watching it, and then obviously people go into the archives afterwards to watch it. But
yeah,
you know, I'm a huge sports fan, and to me it was like there's nothing, you know, I love Mike and Mike and all that kind of shit, and I'm like, there's nothing like that for nerds like us.
that gets me through my senior seminar.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad. You should probably pay a little closer attention, but
Not in senior sem, man. No,
yeah, never mind. Don't pay attention to that. Yeah, but no, yeah, you can find us all over the place. We're everywhere. So I don't want to be all shameless pluggy and stuff like that, but that's not why I came on the show. So, but thank you guys for, you know, having me, and I hope to see you guys when you come back soon. Jimmy, are you ever gonna come here?
Yeah, right
after you graduate.
Right after I graduate. I'm already saving up money for that, so it's gonna happen. I'm pumped.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll see you. And Eden, I assume I'll see you. Jordan, are you coming out too when you?
Not. Maybe, I don't know, sometime in the near future. I've got more books to give you, so we'll hash something out.
Okay, absolutely. That sounds great. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Eden, I guess I'll see you when you come out, but I'll talk to all of you before that time comes.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Thanks, everybody, for watching. All right. Okay, I'm just going to click on other things.